Hey guys, today what I've got is my latest review of a couple of iPhone apps. I'm going to start today with an app called Pennies, developed by two guys, one called Austin Sana and the other one called Clemens Nieper. I'm sorry if I'm pronounced that wrong, but try my best. So I'm going to go right ahead and show you what it is first. What Pennies is basically a kind of like an expenses management app, but not high level, so it's pretty simple, nice and easy to use. So just go ahead and unlock that. So you can see it right there, that's the icon. So if I zoom in closer there, it's a really neat icon because you see some applications that don't give like cool looking icons, they're just basically thrown together in a couple of minutes, whereas I think this one really sort of symbolises what the application is actually for. So that's one of the pros of this, is the user interface and the design has been really well thought out from the beginning. So I'll show you if we go into this. I'll just load it up. Now as you can see, it loads up in maybe 2 seconds, a really quick load. So what you can see is the layout here. We have this month's expenses along the bottom here. We have a list of expenses and we have the history of expenses. Now what history does is it shows you all the expenses that you actually output last month. Now because I haven't actually been using it for a month, then I don't have any history there, so it just basically says no history. But if I go back to this month, what I've done is I've basically just put a couple of dummy things in. Obviously I haven't spent £402, that would be crazy, but yeah, I've put in here. So what you basically first of all have to do is you go to set your expenses. Now in version 1, this is not version 1.1, in version 1 all you could do initially was to slide the slider at preset levels. Now obviously this is crazy, I mean nobody's monthly budget is going to be $100,000, so basically I'll set it down here, and if what you can do now in version 1.1 is click this little arrow right here, and you can actually predefine your budget. So it's £452. What this will do is it will actually preset to your current currency for the device. So obviously because I'm now in the UK, it's in pounds. So we'll save that, and you see now my set budget is £452. So we go back to this month. Now what you can see here is a scale from full to empty. It's kind of like a petrol tank. So as you can see, obviously if I've spent £402 from 452, I'm almost empty. So it's an innovative way of kind of showing you how much money you have left. What next? We'll go into the expenses list along the bottom here, second tab on the bottom. Now if you can see here as well, it looks really neat, really simple. Along the side you have icons representing what type of thing you've actually spent the money on, and then labels for those, so auto, electrics, groceries and amusements, and then you have the value here, and then total, and then also the date. So if this was broken up into different days, it would also be different sheets of paper, so it's as if it were a receipt. So it makes it simpler for you to actually understand what's going on. So let's say if we click this electronics, it takes you along. You can add a note saying it was, what should we say it was? iPod shuffle. There we go. Perfect. And then we go back. So then when we go back here, it's going to say iPod shuffle, and if you see there on the left, it also has a little paperclip to tell you that there's actually notes on there, which is also quite neat. Now what you can do actually as well is if you made a mistake, or if you want to remove one of the expenses, you just simply go groceries, delete, and it's gone from your list, and it will actually update your total in the month, so you can see it's changed slightly to £369. So that's quite neat. So let's say we wanted to add an expense. We go add expense, and then we go, let's just say I've had a lasagna, so we go food, and that lasagna cost me £15 in a restaurant, and so basically that's it. So you can see along here it's got all different icons. We've got general, food, amusement, travel, household, auto, hobby, electronics, personal and groceries. So it's pretty much covers all the categories you're going to get when you're spending money. And it's a nice little interface, not actually using the iPhone predefined buttons. They've actually designed their own, which is pretty neat, nice big chunky buttons. I quite like that. So we go here, save, and you can see the expenses are banded up. This pointer has moved very slightly. On the bottom right here it also shows you statistics, so it says at the moment I'm spending £384 per day, and now that's obviously just because I've punched these in just for this example, and it has 4 expenses, so basically it kind of lets you tally up how well you're doing in terms of saving your money. And a new feature that was added in version 1.1 is a feature to export, to send the CSV export to an email address. Well, I'm not going to do that right now, but that's obviously very handy. As opposed to just having it on a device, you can actually email it to yourself if you've got any sort of way of saving. Say you want to use any software on your PC to keep a track of what you've been doing in your pocket. Great stuff. So, I mean, a couple of pros about this application. As you've probably seen for yourself, it's got a really nice user interface, innovative way of playing around with it, and it's nice, simple, and you can't really get confused. It's easy to use, it's very cheap. I think when I bought it, it was £1.79, so it's probably $2.99, so in the US, so it's pretty cheap considering the fact that it's actually a very useful application. In my case anyway, and it's, like I said, it's actually useful. A couple of the cons. There's no reminders in this, so let's say if I went over the budget, so now my budget is £452, we'll keep it at that, so we're going to add an expense. Electronics, let's just say I bought my new MacBook Pro, which I'm not going to do because it's an insane amount of money. You go save, now my budget is way over. If you can actually see there, what that starts doing is it actually starts pushing the meter past the empty point to indicate that you've gone over your budget. And you can also see there, 2,284 of 452. However, there's no pop-up here, and also there's no reminder. Say if I exit this application, there's no indicator on the app itself that I've actually gone over. Say if there was a little red circle there saying, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, or a notification that I have actually gone over my monthly limit. That would be nice. And also another thing I would like is, say for direct debits, for example, so recurring monthly amounts. Say I have a phone bill which is £35 a month for the iPhone. I'd like that to go out every single month, which would be quite useful then, obviously, as opposed to me having to put it in every time. But that's also not there. But those are really two quite small annoyances about the application, but as I say, updates will probably incorporate new features and functionalities. So yeah, I hope you liked the review. If you've got any questions, drop them down in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. And I'll also leave a link to the developer's website and a direct iTunes link, if I can, to the application itself. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you like the look of the application and give it a try yourself. Thanks very much for watching, and speak to you soon. Bye.